ahead and get started with this week's weekly weather briefing. So in general, what we're looking at is quiet weather through the weekend. We do have a cold front forecast to come through tomorrow night, but there's not going to be a whole lot of sensible impacts with that as far as rain or other hazards are concerned. So it'll just kind of slide through. We'll get a little bit cooler for Sunday, but the real, or for Saturday, I'm sorry. But the impact that we're primarily focused on through the next 7 days is a stronger system forecast to affect the area Monday into Monday night. So when that system comes through, when that front comes through, we're looking at the potential for possible severe weather and also heavy rainfall. And then I did want to mention that a new seasonal outlook came out this morning for the winter months, and it does look pretty likely that we'll see a wetter than normal winter. So while we're not looking at any immediate improvement in drought conditions, we are hopeful that we'll see improvement throughout the winter months. So jumping into what we're looking at currently is really the only hazards we have right now are coastal flood advisory that remains in effect through tonight for those east-facing shorelines, with minor coastal flooding possible during high tide tonight. The water levels should be lower tonight than last night, and they will continue to come down over the next couple cycles. So those impacts really should be subsiding. Otherwise, all other hazardous weather impacts are limited to the lakes and Gulf waters with the small craft advisory. As far as the tropical weather outlook is concerned, there is a high chance, 70%, of a tropical cyclone developing over the Western Caribbean in the next really 2 days, but it poses no threat to the local area, so no issues there as far as we're concerned. Getting back into that system that I was talking about for Monday, there's a stronger front forecast to move through the area Monday into Monday night. The timing is still a little bit up in the air. We do expect thunderstorms along and ahead of that front. The atmosphere should have enough time to recover some moisture into the area before that front comes through. And so we do expect thunderstorms along and ahead of the front. And with the forcing associated with that front, we do think a few storms could become severe. I want to stress that the exact timing and area of greatest threat are going to continue to be refined. This is, 4 or 5 days out at this point. So we have a good feeling, or there's a good signal for severe weather somewhere, but exactly where that severe weather occurs and exactly when, we're still not quite sure. And along the same lines, it does look like locally heavy rainfall will also be possible Monday and Monday night. And we don't want to speculate right now as far as any kind of specific amounts, because again, today's Thursday, and we're talking really the heaviest rain looks like late Monday into Monday night. So, a full 4 to 5 days out. But I do also want to mention that I know we were forecasting a lot of rain over the last few days, and it didn't really pan out. The heaviest rain ended up over the Gulf. Unlike the last few days, this time the rain will not be as dependent on the exact track of a surface low. So we're a little bit more confident that we will see some heavier rain with this system. But again, as far as the specific amounts are concerned and where the heaviest rain falls, that we are still going to have to kind of narrow down over the next couple days. How is that going to affect the drought? Well, here's today's update to the drought monitor, and there was basically no change from last week's update. So extreme to exceptional drought does continue across the entire area. I alluded to it earlier, a seasonal outlook for the winter came out this morning, and so you can see with that map on the left, there's a 60 to 70% chance of a wetter than normal winter. So what that's going to result in is, if you look at the map on the right, it indicates that we expect drought to remain, but we expect to see improvement over the winter months. So again, we're not expecting that it's going to take a while for this drought to really go away, just because we're looking at such big deficits over the course of the entire year. But we should see some improvement over the next couple months, hopefully. So that's a little bit of good news right there. And that's really all we've got for now. So again, weather through Sunday is generally cool and quiet. Coastal flooding impacts continuing to subside. Some potential for both severe thunderstorms and locally heavy rain Monday and Monday night. But we are going to have to continue to keep an eye on that, refine those details such as the areas of greatest risk, the exact timing, et cetera, over the coming days. And then while drought will persist through the short term, we do hopefully see some improvement in drought conditions over the course of the winter.